Christmas season's here again, and I felt like being a little creative. I found these 3 cardboard tubes ready to become garbage, pretty heavy duty, and reminded me when I was young, my family and I made some sort of display. Candles with electric light on top. So I want to try the same thing. I grabbed a bunch of stuff out of the attic that I never used. I probably got on closeout or whatever, clearance. 3 of these snap-in bulb holders, and I got flicker bulbs, some odds and ends. These I never really used, so I may take them apart and use some of the pieces to decorate the base. I did have to buy spray paint, so see what happens. Alright, first thing I'm going to do is cut a base out of a leftover 2x12 I got. Sand the edges off to make them resemble the ends. And now I want to cut these in 3 different lengths, about 6 inches apart. Do the same thing. Get a nice clean edge to start. I cut the 3 pieces down to 42, 36, and 30. I think that's pretty good. And I got leftovers. I could do something else with that later. I got this hole saw. I should cut a 3-inch hole to fit in there. And I got some sections of pine ready to drill. Put it in my vise. Try to cut these plugs. I got 3 of these plastic plugs, came with the tubes, which work perfectly to hold the lights I have to install. Little spring clamps. But I figure once that's in there and I paint these tubes, how's that going to look with the paint from the top? You're going to see that kind of thing. So I figured I'd use the wood plugs and drill 1-inch holes in the middle to match this. And then for the bottom, the wood plugs are going to just serve the purpose of holding these steady on a base. I'm going to mount these to a base, wood base, slide these over, throw a couple of screws in, and it should hold them from falling over. So I will drill a couple of 1-inch holes, see how it goes. And drill the holes, and then I'll sand the edges and go from there. See how that goes. Whoa, a little tight, but that's good. Yeah, that'll be nice. after I sand it, it'll go in. All right, move on. I want to paint these with a little spray paint. You can do what you want. I'm going to use spray paint. I guess you could brush them or whatever. So I rigged up these little 3/4 inch sticks into the ground, just with some strings hanging with loops. And I put some wire through pilot holes. I'll put screws in there later to hold the tops in. And some wire, which I'll take out. I got little S hooks. You could just tie it up to the string, but I want to try to spin it, so I'm going to hang it. I'll move that a little over there. And as I spray, I could twirl a little bit. And leave it there to dry. And then I'm going to paint the tops of those same color, probably red. And that's the base. And that will be green, but I'm probably going to fill that up with all kinds of plastic greenery. But eventually what's going to happen is I'm going to put the bottom ones in there. I'm going to have to measure how much space to leave for the walls of the cardboard tubes. Screw these down, then I'll put the tubes on and screw them into there. And it should hold it pretty steady. I'm probably going to tie a ribbon around all three anyway, so it'll hold it better. That's just an old piece of 2 by 12 I cut down, I think. All right, get the spray paint. That's it. Whoop. Those I just need the tops to be, well, I'm probably even going to decorate the top. But for anything that shows, I want it to match the candlesticks. All right. Now for the candlesticks. Huh. Should I go this way or that way? I don't know. Maybe a little of each. Anyway, I'm going to do a couple of coats. Probably end up doing that way too. You got the idea. In my haste to paint these things, I forgot to make an exit hole for the back, the bottom of the socket for the lights. Got to get these through to put together and plug in. So that's going to sit about there. These come with a switch. You don't need the switch, but they came with the switch, so I want to feed the switch out. If they didn't come with the switch, I'd go as low as possible, but alright, in this case I'm going to go about here on each of them. And then drill a hole. This one has a bad spot right here, so I'll use this as the back. The others don't look so bad, so I'll just drill anywhere. And then I'm going to touch it up with some paint. And one thing I see, I dripped some paint over here and it kind of looks like melted wax. So I'm going to go over with the paint real heavy over here and let it actually drip on purpose so it does look on all three like melted wax. Alright. Taking a 1.5 inch hole. Right about there. Do this to all three, and that'll be in the back of the decoration. This is the back end, so it's not so crucial. I'll give everything a quick spin. I temporarily set up my 3 candlesticks on the base, and I left a little space between because I'm not sure how I'm going to decorate it. I'm thinking of some snow down here cut into like icicles, and I may have to replace it after a couple of years, so I didn't want to make them all tight against each other. So I basically got to mark where I'm going to have them and then place these wood circles I cut on the bottom, because I'm going to secure that to the bottom. Then I'm going to put that over it and put a couple of screws in from the ends to hold it tight. Now here's the holes I cut so that the electrical wires that come out from each candlestick group together in the middle, and then they're going to have a plug hanging out the back. Alright, I'm going to take a bulb and a top end. Little crud on there. I'm going to decorate that. That don't matter. Insert the bulb. Little spring clamps. Come on. It's a little tight, but that's good. There we go. It's gripping the bottom, sticking out the top. That's good. And I will feed it into the tallest tube. I'm going to ease that in off camera and then put a couple of screws in to hold it. Now I got my wire here, my shut off, which I don't need, but it came with the things, and go. I'm going to replace these bulbs with flicker bulbs. It's going to look a lot better. Alright, I'll do that to all three. I'll secure them to the base and we'll go from there. Alright, I found that I cut these so tight that they just perfectly fit in there, and a little bit of paint makes it hard. So what I did, I made up this stick with a hole, and I'm going to use it to gently pound it in just right. Throw a couple of screws in there. Got the others done already. Alright, I got the top screwed in with little brass screws. Figuring brass is better for the weather if I put these outside. And I got the bottom secured to the base with deck screws. And what I'll do now is I will put these on, force them on a little bit, and then put a couple of brass screws in from the ends of that, kind of like that, and it should hold it together. Here's the basic product you end up with. Get a green base and red colored cardboard tubes, flickering bulbs, I painted the wires red because they were white and they were standing out too much. Alright, so you got the wire, you got to deal with that. But that's basic. Now what you go and do from there is up to you. It's going to make it all personalized. I got a few things. I got some cotton tree skirt. I got a couple of leftover wreaths with pine cones and whatnot. Glitter spray, snow spray, twine, I don't know, ribbon, other things. A cat? No, I don't think a cat. Another cat? No, I don't think another cat. But, oh, some garland. I don't know. You gotta decorate it to what you think is the perfect decoration, and you will come up with something unique to yourself. Nobody else will have it, and that's the fun of doing this stuff yourself. So here's what I ended up with. I just used the indoor tree skirt material, cotton. If you're going to go outside, you may want to use something a little more weather resistant. These bulbs are cool to the touch, but I made sure I hot melted this stuff away from the bulbs because you can never be too safe. Fire safety, use common sense, you know. And I left the space between because after a couple of years this may become a little ratty and you want to replace it, so you want to get in there. Put a little spray snow, a little glitter, leftover decorations on the bottom just grouped together, greenery and pine cones and whatnot. I like it. Make your own, make it personalized, and it will be yours and yours alone. Let me turn the light out. I like the way they glow in the dark. Not quite that dark. Look better at night. Alright. Happy holidays, everybody. Do it yourself. Make it personal. Make it special. Christmas 2013. Later.